Hello, everybody. How's it going today? Welcome back to AnyPod Presents The In-Quy'zz-ition. I'm your lovely DM, Dippy, and these are my lovely players. Say hi, lovely players.
No.
Hi, lovely players.
No, just the outright refusal. Just no. That's just perfect, isn't it? Welcome back to The In-Quy'zz-ition, and we are getting right back into things smoothly, gently, caressing your screen with these lovely sounds and noises and faces.
I do not consent to this touching.
The energy in the studio has just gotten strange.
I am very
strange
with the energy we have.
I don't think we discussed
first
this
and foremost, first and foremost, while they're all cringing about that, allow me to bring you into the world of our partners and sponsors, starting with tabletopaudio.com. They're a lovely little resource where you can get free backing tracks, sound effects, musical epitaphs, and all these other things that you can do for your tabletop games, whether they're in person or online. It has a server sharing ability where you can link everybody within the website itself to hear the sound effects if you're not going live streaming. Which reminds me, I need to share my audio with the Zoom. There we go.
Yeah.
There we are. So we're
Hey,
mostly
there's
gonna be...
music going on.
Hey, look at that.
I wonder where that's from.
Well, funny you should ask. It's
We
from
could
this lovely
never
little
know.
website called tabletopaudio.com. All right, and if you use their service in your live games, all they ask is that you give them a shout when you do, and that's what we're doing here. Thank you, Tabletop Audio, for creating the soundtracks of our lives, at least in game.
For giving us the song of the summer.
The song of the summer. This is a song from 1974. All right. And Deputies on Monday. Is it time to do that like official announcement thing?
That's right. Yeah. There's that official announcement. So announcement for the channel of AnyPod. We are taking off all main campaigns, like long running campaigns, off of the weekend. People have live, things get complicated, and yeah. Crossroads will be moving to every other Tuesday. It will not come back this Tuesday, but the next one. We will be doing it every other with... Someone save me. What's the other one on Tuesday?
Renatus.
Monster of the Month?
No.
Or Renatus?
Renatus. Yes. Hi, Renatus. I know the shows that are on this channel.
Which we were previously talking about how Renatus was on hiatus because they lost everything. I'm assuming that since they're coming back, they got everything back? Or they're just
up
remaking
in the air,
stuff?
There's a whole thing, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's been rough with losing things and not having the space.
Well, there you go. So Renatus is coming back, along with Crossroads is migrating over to that time slot as well. You'll be getting same shows, same AnyPod shows, different AnyPod times. Wednesdays are still going strong with Breaking Character. Mondays are still going strong with Dapper D's. And Thursdays, I haven't heard anything about Monster of the Month. So I don't know how well that's going so far.
I don't know if that's going to be continuing to be a thing, because I haven't heard much from Brett either. So
well, then there you go. So
I might
we'll keep you
Thursdays
posted
for a bit. We'll see.
all right,
There you go. So we might have something coming for you live on Thursdays. And as always, you can enjoy our lovely faces every other Friday. Since the weekend stuff is going away, I was thinking about making this kind of a more common thing, but that has to deal with everybody's schedules too. So we're going to keep it at every other Thursdays until something changes. So, with all of that said and elucidated and made clear, let's jump right back into the In-Quy'zz-ition. You all wake up after a busy day yesterday, which we will elaborate on first. You all made your way back from Mike Duggan's laboratory back through the city of Squog to the after getting the answers that you wanted about Sundial and help and basically voluntelling Mike Duggan's to release a fire elemental that he was keeping captive in his laboratory. You all managed to make your way out of his lab and breathe a sigh of relief as your main mission that you had been going on was basically done. You all thought about what to do next, and, well, Willow, our resident fairy Willow offered up a lovely suggestion. Go see some waterfalls. It's a nice, simple path to take you down the road next. So you went back through Squog into the city of Agots, where the headquarters of the Camden Hall is, and you made your way over to recollect your boat. But on the way, you ran into a figure that was only familiar to a couple of you at the time, and as far as you all know,
Nothing happened.
nothing really substantial happened. But for those of you who watched the episode, and Sundial specifically, you kind of had an encounter with a fucking weird thing, you know? It was, but heck if you know. Go watch the previous episode to be elucidated a little further on what happened. But for the in-game, our players are just kind of took a long rest at the end of a long day, and now it is new morning, a new day. On the SS Toad Skipper, Zog's boat.
What does SS stand for?
Sailing ship.
Oh, that's a lot more simpler than I thought.
Oh.
I thought it was going to be something fun.
That's right. I think that's right.
What if it's shipping ship?
It would be SHS.
No, because you're just okay.
What? No.
Wait.
I looked up what does
Why is it
SS...
SHS if you put sailing ship? Why is it not SSH then?
We're moving on.
We're having this discussion. If it was shipping ship, it would be SHSH. Toad Skipper. Or the shh.
Why is ship at SH? Doesn't it just start with an S? Shouldn't
I
it
don't know.
just be-
Ask fucking Dippy.
Shipping ship.
shipping
Um,
ship.
You know what? We're calling it the shh. Nah.
Y'all are
Let's
thinking
skip
too
it.
much about
The
it.
sailing partnership.
Historically, the prefix
Sundial's
SS
doing some
was-
graffiti tonight.
Historically, the prefix SS actually stood for screw steamer or steamship.
Dippy,
Weird.
did you
So-
type into Google what does SS mean? And
Yeah,
that
and
was the, oh
it,
God,
and it was the
I
fucking.
didn't-
We're not
it
going to
was
talk about what the
Nazis.
first result was. So, you all wake up. You have not leveled up,
Oh.
unfortunately.
Damn it.
You're all still
Dang.
level 6.
I'm sad.
You're like, level 6 is nothing to shake a stick at.
Level 10?
I know.
Level 11? 12? No. All right. So, no need to roll initiative for who wakes up first. Just whoever among you would like to describe their
Is it
morning.
raining today?
The rain has ceased. There was a lot of rain yesterday. It is no longer raining today. The water is a little rougher than normal, and that's all of the runoff from the rain from the mountainous areas, causing the river to flow a little bit faster, a little more choppier than normal. So,
I would be up fairly early then.
all right.
Same.
Very good, very good. Very quickly here.
I think I would get up like soon after Allie because I'd probably been in my pot for a while and just was relaxing, and so I was getting like partial rest.
Zog's not getting up until someone wakes him up. He's very just at peace, finally back on his boat.
There's something about your brain getting shook by the waves. That
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm like, I'm out. I'm in a
being
trance
rocked
until
in a
someone wakes
cradle.
Yeah. Yep. Until someone wakes me up, he's out.
Alrighty.
So I would say when Allie wakes up, they're kind of moseying about on the top of the what kind of boat is it?
So,
Do we remember?
It's a shipping vessel.
Well, it's like think
It's
of like a modified
Kinda
lobster boat.
name.
Oh, the name of the boat is the Toad Skipper.
The
I don't
Toad Skipper. Thank you.
Yeah, It's like a modified lobster boat. So instead of having spots for like all the nets and whatnot, it is like turned into little cabin spaces. So.
But you do also have a netting crane on your
I have
boat.
one. Yeah, I have a netting crane. Yes.
It helps with boxes and shit like that. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I can actually just fish out of it. We have before.
I actually rolled something on my random encounter die, so I'm going to do this.
So who has the fishing rod?
So
Do I still
someone
have
does wake you up, Zog.
Oh.
Tapping on the outside of your boat.
Hello. Yep.
Is your vessel available?
It depends on the direction you're going.
I was thinking about heading towards New York City if you were.
Is that on the way?
If you are headed to the land of 1,000 puddles, New York City is like... There is a district of New York City called the Puddles because it borders the land of 1,000 puddles. So yes, you are... He
We're
is
going to
heading
Michigan,
that
you
way.
guys.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much. How much fare for you?
You know, whatever you got, whatever you want to do. It'll be like a donate thing, whatever you feel like. We're going that direction anyway. It's not putting us out of the way.
Oh, thank you kindly. It's much
Terrible at
appreciated.
business.
No, I'm not. Because for some odd reason, I started this game really rich. Oh, I don't even have my sheet up. I have to pull up my... Oops.
Whilst he's looking through the book, answer about the fishing pole. Burk put it into a bag that he has.
Right.
Just
The whole thing.
slipped it right in.
Okay. Now I feel like Zog's awake, now that I'm looking at his sheet.
So, I guess, did I wake up with Allie?
With Allie?
Like, Allie woke up, and then I woke up soon after and joined them. Unless you're doing something.
I'm stretching on the front of the boat because the sun
Okay.
is coming out, and this is the first day that I've had the chance to actually enjoy not having it wet out.
Yeah. Quinlan's out at that same front half of the boat doing his morning katas, giving you your spaces to not hit you.
I don't understand the need for this.
It's invigorating, relaxing, preparatory.
I wasn't ready in the slightest. I should pull up my notes as well now that I'm back. Someone hopping on the boat with us.
So,
Oh,
like,
wow.
preparing for what? Like, moving?
Yes. Moving,
you-
sitting, exercising,
So
breathing.
you have to prepare yourself to do things, like live?
You don't have to, but it's like sharpening a blade. If you don't sharpen the blade, it doesn't cut as well, but it can still cut within a force.
So,
You should
Can I-
try it, Sundial.
That
You do
explains a
not
couple
have
people
to-
I've met.
Get ready if you stay ready.
Yes.
But
Quinlan, you're terrifying some days.
I'm always ready.
The second Sundial
Like,
says
tiny
that,
hands come up.
Zog grabs a little like stapler or whatever the fuck he has and tries to throw it through Sundial's head, like through the goop.
you make a dexterity save, Sundial.
Apparently, this is also while I'm talking to some dude. Yeah, no, it's available. I'm always ready. Yeah, you can ride the boat if you want.
Oh, much appreciated, kind sir.
No.
My sticky
We should
notes
dex
real
save?
Dex save, yes.
Okay, 17.
17. You manage to you make like
Just
a
sink.
donut. You make like a donut out of like the middle of your head, and the stapler just passes straight through the hole that you make.
I'm talking to Allie. Does
Yeah.
Allie get hit?
Do I roll dex?
No, perpendicular to perpendicular.
Yeah.
Oh.
So what's your name?
So his head just shapes into a donut. The stapler passes through the hole, and your eyes just kind of like whip around the side.
Yeah. What is this gentleman?
Standing before
Just
you
for notes wise, yeah.
standing before you is an older gentleman. He seems to be a human, but he is what most people would refer to as a mutant. He has what appears to be a hunch on his right shoulder, but it doesn't look like it's made of like. This hunch has like a rocky texture to it, almost like a stone got embedded in his shoulder. In the hand that stone is embedded into is a sack that he has kind of like tossed over his over that shoulder. He has a receding hairline and a small grin, and he extends his other hand, his free hand. He says, "Butcher Dougal, at your service, sir."
Butcher Dougal.
Butcher
Great name.
Dougal.
Oh my god, I love that name.
Butcher is spelled exactly how you think it is. Dougal is D-U-G-A-L.
All right. Zog sticks out his hand for a handshake. Well, I'm Zog. I'll introduce you to the rest of the boat once we hop on. I guess we could just. Does anyone? And he like pops his head. Of like, does anyone need anything in town before we hit the road?
Looking directly at Sundial and just giving him a mean mug of, and then looking over at Zog. No, we can go.
So Sundial's gonna have started doing a thing with his pot, which is he's gonna, because he's wearing his robe. When he wakes up in the morning, he's just gonna and put his pot on his head. Just let it be like a little hat.
Okay.
So the vase that you have been carted around in now sits atop your head, like an elegant headwear.
You can now do
And
the
then I have,
solid
like, a
snake
robe.
thing.
Yeah, and then I have like
you can just slip into his pot
Yes.
and then just like rematerialize out from the bottom of it and just keep going.
I take it. That's so slime or plasmoids have the ability to kind of like go into an orb shape
Yeah.
and be just like impervious.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, so that's just like gonna be his
There
thing.
you go.
It's just like if he goes into it.
Perfect.
Love that.
Yeah, Zog offers a hand to the guy while he hops on the boat because obviously
And
wobbly and whatnot.
it's for stability, and he kind of hops into the boat. It's then and only then that the smell finally hits you, and the smell is coming from his bag. It smells like a lot of salt and something else, like a hint of something else.
Oh, okay. I don't like that I just wrote in my notes has a very salty sack. I need to reword this.
And he looks to you and says, do you have accommodation for me shipment here?"
What all do you need?
I
You
just
need,
need
like-
a safe place to set me sack. A little. I've got some wares in here that it's processed double chicken here.
All right. Do you mean safe as in nothing to get ruined, or safe as in you don't want it stolen?
I mean, preferably both, but
Okay. And I lead him over to my captain's quarters, and there is like a little lockbox that has one key. And I open it up and I hand him the key, and I said, "This is the only key for it. I trust you not to lose it, because if you lose it, we're gonna break the box." But
understood. And he like slips it into his coat pocket.
and then he'll start walking around and be like, "So this is the people we'll be traveling with. We got Sundial, my first mate. Boat wise, that happened a long time ago the other way. Quinlan." And he just kind of points to Quinlan. I don't know how to introduce Quinlan to anybody, so it's just Quinlan. We
He's
have
the blue
Allie.
guy.
He's the blue. He's like the windy guy.
Yeah.
We have Allie, if you're interested in getting your fortune read. You have
pleasure.
Willow, if you're interested in talking to a fish or a fairy, I guess. Don't make it weird. Willow's awesome. And we have Burk, who... Shit, I don't know anything about Burk. They have a fishing rod.
They're big.
Yeah. Then we'll stick with that
That'll
for
work.
Got
now.
a big fishing rod. Wink, wink.
Big fishing rod and a big sword.
Yes. Everything about them is very big.
It's lovely to meet all of you. I hope that my presence doesn't intrude upon your daily activities. And if it does, my sincere apologies.
No, don't worry. Me boat casa, you boat casa. It's fine.
Thanks, friend. And he kind of like takes his repose in the lower deck after everything is all said and done. He hands you 10 gold pieces initially. And you know that that's 10 gold pieces is like a short jaunt down the river. If this was like a genuine, like, if this was like a paying customer, you would drop him off at the end of the day for 10 gold pieces. But
Yeah.
But at this juncture, you're headed that direction. At this point, he's just extra baggage for you.
No, I'm not. Yeah.
Make a perception check as he's walking away downstairs.
Okay. Natural 1.
No, nothing. Nothing's wrong.
Do I get anything with a nat?
For a cleric,
you
you
don't
can't
see
see
it. Yeah,
shit.
you have vertigo for a second, and your
Can I
vision goes
use-
like all wibbly wobbly, and you're just like, whoa.
I don't want to fight the dice, but could I just use my passive?
Do
What
I
is
get
your
anything
passive?
from my passive? that's funny?
16.
Okay, 16 would have been enough anyway. As he's
Okay.
walking away, you notice embedded into the back of this like rock on his shoulder is a blue gem, a sizable blue gem.
Okay. Odd. And how long is this boat ride going to be? How long?
He said
is it
he was
until
heading in the direction of Newark City.
Yes.
So
How far away is it to Newark City?
about 4 days.
Oof. Okay.
4 days on the open water. If you're not interrupted and if you don't stop for supplies, like at all. Stopping and starting, it'll be about a week.
Okay. We should be all set now. I'd assume
You'll-
like I did
That changes a little. That changes a little when you reach the Land of a Thousand Puddles.
Okay.
Because the Land of a Thousand Puddles is what I like to call difficult aquatic terrain because of all of the weird, like jutting up spiky bits and waterfalls, and you got to know where you're going.
We're gonna be making checks.
It's okay if you like. You can come up with a number of gold if you want. Of just like off screen before this, we'll say, because we did a lot of just wandering around last episode. I probably loaded up the boat with whatever we'd need for the trip.
Yeah.
We
So
got a bunch
with
of
your
turtle meat.
supplies,
Yeah.
with
we have a bunch of meat.
regarnishing, I'll say that you are allowed over the course of the boat trip. You have affirmed me that you bought supplies for your boat. When you mention one of those supplies, a gold cost will be taken from you. Because
Deal. All right.
because I don't want you to be like, we bought all of this and this and this, and you never use it. So that's how supplies are going to be delineated.
I like that idea. Yeah, that's fair.
I know at some point, I think Sundial and Willow went on like went off on their own, and we never really described that. During that time, Sundial will have gotten a shitload of like different sweets and candies that he wanted to try.
10 gold.
Okay.
But you got a variety.
Yeah.
We'll let
All
the
right.
kids wander
So
off.
we are on the road, and
And
then
before y'all depart, Burk, sitting at the foot of wherever you rested on the boat last night, is just a little gold purse that just has the initial AC written on it. Abernathy gave you a little stipend of gold. Not that you didn't already have enough. He gave you 50 more.
50?
Yeah, 50.
Okay.
Whether that's a pittance
Thanks,
compared to what you
Abernathy.
already had, or like it helps out. Yeah.
So were we just like not going to talk about the maw thing in the water?
what?
You and me both saw it, right? Oh wait,
don't-
that's right. I'm the only one that fucking remembers it. God
Yeah,
damn it!
it's just
What are
you,
you
buddy.
talking
I'm
Just you that
sorry.
remembers it.
What are
are
you
you-
talking about the story we talked about yesterday?
Yeah. Yeah. There's the maw. There's not a story. I literally saw it.
I mean, isn't everything a story? Even if you saw it, like now that you're telling it, it's now a story. Like,
I'm
At
just
some point,
confused.
anything can become a story.
yeah.
Sundial,
can
is
tell
this
you a
another one of your
story.
visions?
Sundial,
no-
here's a quick story. Some guy knocked on the boat, and now he's downstairs.
That's not a story. That's history.
history is story.
And if you rolled for it, you'd be bad at it too.
Wow.
Once when that man goes downstairs and I've gotten the boat plugging away on its own,
All right.
I'm gonna turn to Allie really quick. Do you think you could ask the cards or something about this fella?
Sure.
Do I owe you? I ask you this a lot. Can I give you something in return?
I
I'm
mean, she
already
makes
on your
fair-
ship for free.
Yeah,
And she
but
makes
like,
fair amount of like whatever gold we get.
what?
Is that they make fair amount of whatever gold we get, so they have a share. It's more of like a, you know,
Symbiotic.
they're like an
relationship.
employee or symbiotic relationship. They're working with you, and they create kind of an ambience on your boat, allowing you to not like gear more people towards your boat. Just like, oh, this person's got a future tale. It's like,
I did. Sundial, if you're saying I'm sharing how much money I make on this boat with everyone, the answer is I'm not.
I'm not saying about that. I'm talking about the adventures that we fucking go
Oh,
on.
okay.
It's,
okay.
it's
the
more
other
like
thing.
Serenity.
Yes.
Alrighty.
And Sundial
are-
knows that you don't share all your money because he doesn't share all his money with you.
Yup.
You are now on the open water. As a catch-all check, Zog, roll
Yes.
for how well you progress through the water today.
All right. Am I adding anything to it?
If you have water vehicles, add your proficiency.
I don't know.
Imagine being a character that owns a boat and doesn't
I-
have water.
I don't think I have water vehicles. That's still 17.
17. Perfect. Will consider your pace fast today. So, I will.
For the reading on the guest.
So I will only
Yes.
roll 3 random encounters.
Perhaps someone with a history of broken things. Perhaps they're a little stuck in the past, but they're carrying with them something new. Perhaps something new to them. Yes. Troubled past, but maybe not trouble now.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Yes.
I'm sorry, this is in relation to Butcher?
The guy.
The
Yes.
guy.
They're doing a card reading.
Wanted a vibe check.
Was that?
Oh no.
I got the devil
Anyway.
in reverse, which usually represents like trouble, but not trouble for us, as like a
Okay.
note for people. Specifically, that devil is that one.
Cool. All right.
Usually
Moving on.
represented a prison of
Usually
your
is
own
the key
making.
word there.
Moving on. So for the first 2/3 of your travel, it is calm waters. It is there's no like what have you. You know, there isn't any like outward trouble on the horizon. There's a little bit of traffic, obviously, but there's otherwise there is no what's the best way to put it? Your travel is fine.
There's no hiccups.
So if y'all would like to do anything with the first 2/3 of your travel,
Oh, I am proficient with water vehicles.
so 17 plus
You are.
Dirty 20 altogether.
dirty 20. Pace is still fast. That doesn't change anything. If you got over
Yeah.
20, then we'll say that you did exceptionally well.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dono. Dono had to walk
you're
me through the
welcome.
character sheet.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. One of the evenings, I would like to grab a bottle of fine alcohol and 2 glasses, and approach Zog when it's just him.
Oh, so this will be this evening. This took into
Okay.
account one day. So this first 2/3,
Okay.
you're not going to reach this yet.
Okay.
This will be after the third part of the day. Yeah.
Gotcha.
How fast is the boat going?
We
112.
talked about this. Yeah, it was like 112 feet per. It wasn't per round, was it? Like full speed ahead
no,
might
it
have
goes,
been.
It goes 60 feet per round.
60
I
feet
can
around,
dash
that's
to
right.
100.
That's right.
Okay.
I can pedal to the metal, go 100 feet per round.
And and we'll say that with a 17, you're able to do that for most of the journey.
Well, you got a dirty
Okay.
20, but yeah.
Okay.
120, yeah.
Sundial's gonna go to Allie and Willow and just be like, I have an idea, and like look and see that Burk's right by, and like, yeah, Burk, how good are you with rope?
With rope,
Yes.
I've used rope before for stuff. In
Do you
what
know how to-
sense?
Do you know how to make? And Sundial, with like his ability, and because he's proficient with the disguise kit, I'm just gonna say that he can shape change a little bit.
Yeah.
And fuck around with that stuff. He's gonna make like what looks like a board and stuff that's kind of curved. And he's like, okay. So we're gonna tie a rope to the back of the boat. I need a board to be able to stand on. I'm gonna try and. Are you down?
May I ask why you wish to do this, Sundial?
I don't know. I just think it'd be fun.
Fair enough. Curiosity and chaos.
I
is
mean,
much.
as long as we secure it well, and if anything, I'll hold on to the rope just as a little extra.
I like that. And he creates
So-
like two thumbs.
Anybody
Out of
who's
his-
in on this idea, each person is going to make a check. I don't care who, as long as only one of you makes only one of you makes one
no.
of these checks.
Oh no!
There's a check that
Alright.
needs to be made to make the board. If you have woodworking tools, I would suggest you make that roll. One of you, probably Burk, needs to make a check to tying off the board and tying it to the boat. That'll all be
Maybe-
in one check.
This is also like I had a thought about this. I know that like disguise kits they can take about an hour or something like that to set up. What the heck? Oh, my wife's falling. What's going on? Can we like rule it, because obviously I wouldn't use a disguise kit, but I am proficient with it. Can we rule it that if like Sundial gets like an hour of prep, he can disguise himself as people? Like change himself?
You would have to know either it would either be a general
We can
course of
do, like-
action. It would
we can
either
do,
be a
like, the-
yeah.
We can do like the ditto rule where I have to roll to see how well
Yeah.
I look as that person.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to do one singular person, or like
That's
how
kind of
well
where
I can
I'm.
make
That's
as a person.
I see what I'm picking up. What you're putting down. If you're trying to disguise yourself as somebody, you would have to know what they look like. If you're just taking a general course of action, I would say it wouldn't even take an hour. It would be like 30 minutes.
Okay.
General course of action, 30 minutes, and you can roll to see how well you do it.
Dope, I
A
can
specific
do that.
person, you need an hour, and you need to roll to see how well you emulate it. So, and
Awesome. All right.
Sundial, you're gonna make a check when this board is in the water, obviously.
Yes,
So,
obviously.
so making the board in the first place. Who's making that roll?
I had asked Allie, Willow, and Burke to help me create this idea.
So either
So
Willie,
is any of you good
Willow,
at making knots or tying things?
so Willow or Allie, one of you can make the check for the making the board if you'd like. If you're even humoring this idea.
I actually do not have rope, so if somebody has rope.
We're on a boat. There's so much rope around everywhere.
That is true. Okay. I need like
5
but
gold
that
off
could
for
be,
fresh
like,
rope.
boat rope. Okay.
Yes. 5 gold.
Is it
I
5
can always
gold for
try it.
rope?
For
I'm fairly good at
Look,
tying
man.
knots.
Lord.
he got a lot of rope.
To say I also have just an extra 50 feet of rope as well.
Oh, okay.
What do I need
well,
to roll
then
to tie
I
a knot?
Tying off will be dexterity. Making the board is just going to be a straight roll, unless you
I
have
always
woodworker's
thought trying to
tools.
tie the knot would be a charisma check.
Okay, I rolled
Yes. What'd you get?
14.
14.
Yay.
You have take off
Inspiration.
Zog, take off like 2 gold for patching lumber, because
Okay.
you take like a plank of this patching lumber, Willow, and you kind of like are willowing it down into the shape of like what's basically you're trying to make a boogie board, right, Sundial? Is it like
Yeah,
a boogie board or like
yeah.
a snowboard shape? Allie.
Boogie.
Yeah, a
If
boogie.
I use inspiration to try to make a roll better, but get a worse roll, do I take the higher roll or the?
You
one
still
that I
take the higher
under?
roll.
Okay.
You would take the higher roll if you used your. It would just be a waste of an inspiration point
You're
if
fine.
you.
It's bad.
Oh yeah.
I rolled a 10, then I re-rolled my inspiration. I got a 4, so we're taking the 10 for the not tying.
Oh, great.
That does not bode well
no.
for today.
So, you take Burk, you hand one end of the rope to Allie, who stays on the boat, and you kind of like tie, and you're like through the hole, over the river and through the woods. Wait, that's not right.
I'm not used to tying things that don't have people in them.
After a while-
Around the tree.
You heard me!
Wow. Oh, wait until you get back to Newark City.
Go on.
Nope.
While Burk, you previously secured the finished board to the other end of the rope, and Sundial, you kind of like get let out into the water behind the boat with the board. You're just kind of like glued yourself to it to begin with, so you don't fall off.
I'm like a big stick of or a big piece of gum.
It's
just
at this-
strapped onto a board with a rope attached to it.
It's at this moment that
And
two
he just,
things
like,
become
forms a
immediately.
hand.
Yeah, it's at this point that two things become immediately apparent to you. Number one, the gem engine that runs this boat is creating a lot of wake in the water, and
Yes.
it's very rough in the water immediately behind the boat. You would have to go out a fair ways to ignore this wake entirely, or you would have to maneuver around the wake, which you have never done this before. This is going to be fun. Number two, the rope, you can feel like the boat is just barely going fast enough for this to work. Like you feel like the rope is occasionally like jerking, and there's a little slack, and then you like fall behind it again, and it jerks again, and you're like. So, what I need you to do is I need you to roll me a performance check.
Oh no.
I won't give you disadvantage. I'll give you -2. Because
I'd
this
rather
is-
have the disadvantage because I could cancel that out.
because of the conditions of the wake, and you have never done this before.
The DM trying to be nice, but then makes it so I can't use my ability. What?
Or maybe I intentionally made it so that you can't use your ability because this is your first time doing this.
Okay. Okay.
Even though the rope is tied to the boat, I'm just still hanging on to like it. Just
Yeah, you
just in
hold
case.
on just as a backup.
Yeah, just as backup.
Zog is oblivious to this, by the way.
Yeah.
Zog has no idea.
Yeah, you're
Until he looks in the
you're just
rearview
gonna-
mirror.
Yeah, you have like a strip of mirror like across the what is the lip that dips down below where the doors and portholes that enter into the captain's quarters are, and then you just have a strip of behind you where the open back of this cabin kind of like opens up, where you see Burk standing there with a rope in hand, and the rope is also secured to one of the fastening poles on the back railing. You see Allie standing there, and you see this rope trailing off into the water behind you with Sundial on a plank of wood.
You know, we could have just had the crane hold the rope.
And Willow. The crane is on the front of the boat. You would
Never mind.
you would basically be dragging along the side of the boat if the crane was holding
fine.
the rope.
Never mind. Never mind.
And you see Willow kind of flittering enthusiastically, like, over the railing, looking out over the edge. What did you get for your performance, Sundial?
So I got a natural 20
Oh!
with a plus 2.
Nice.
So
With a +2 and then a -2.
Yeah.
So
no,
it ends
I
up
have
with
a plus 4.
a
I
plus
minus
4, so
2,
+2.
I own-
Fucking A, man. You're like a
I'm
duck
a
to
sorcerer,
water.
buddy.
You're like a duck to water.
Being that plasmoids are naturally able to hold their breath for an hour and swim. Yeah.
You immediately, it's like you've done this before. You stand up and you are just like cruising, and you're kind of like, your body is kind of
I
like.
like to imagine that like I'm a piece of gum that's slapped onto it and that's formed a hand to the rope.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like I just, because I don't have any like joints or anything like that, the piece of wood just goes up on the waves and just goes.
Yeah, it just like it just gets all squirrely in the air as you're making these insane trick flips, and you just kind of land back down into the water and like no problem at all. You
The second Zog
take a fucking
realizes
inspiration point first and foremost, because this is amazing.
The second Zog sees what's happening, he sticks his head out the window and he's like, "What, Willow? If he falls, can you turn into something that can get him?" You don't know? Okay. I have a passenger on board. I don't feel like stopping this. I was gonna say bus. This boat.
Turn this bus around.
Kind of the same thing, you know. A boat's just a bus on water.
There you go.
Tell me I'm fucking wrong.
That's my next tattoo. I want.
That's
a boat
shirt
is just
right
a bus on water. Write it down. All right.
We should literally make a T-shirt that just is the Toad Skipper and just says bus.
Bus.
Water bus.
Bus, but water.
Bus, exactly.
All right.
We'll make like one of them old school like faded T-shirts that has like the
Oh,
Toad
yeah.
Skipper and it has the boat on it and it just says water bus.
Incredible.
And
So-
In-Quy'zz-ition on the bottom.
You've successfully gone boogie boarding. You kind of get hauled back in after you get tired. You get tired after about like 15 minutes. You're resilient, but you're not that resilient. You get hauled back in up the side of the boat, and you kind of like latch onto the railing, and just like whoop, and you just like slop over the railing into the boat.
So who's next?
I'm not a fan of water. I'll pass.
Sundial, offer it to our new friend on boat. Oh, Willow wants to go. Offer it after.
Okay. I hand Willow. You see like my tiny body just like form a hand that makes it big, puts it towards you, and it like shrinks down. And I imagine with like the shrinking, it kind of like because of how Sundial just notices things and he's more of like just a bag of nerves, whatever. It like kind of glitches him like in a video game situation where it just suddenly gets like small, big, small, big, small, big, small, big.
Yeah.
I have a question about this shrinking.
Yes.
How does the rope work?
The rope.
It just
When
ends
it
up making her look
does
like
it-
she's really far away.
Well, no. Does the rope shrink on Willow's end, but stay big on the other end, or does the whole rope condense?
I mean, the mass stays the same.
You know how a rope is like tightly coiled, like
Yeah.
the length of the rope does not change. The thickness of the rope shrinks down.
But the ability
Goes
to
down.
hold, like the strength of
Yeah.
it, remains.
Yes.
Just
I
from
wanted to make sure
shoelace.
the knot wasn't gonna get undone the second Willow grabbed it.
Yeah, the knot is the only part of the rope that doesn't shrink when Willow grabs it. Basically.
Just goes shoelace.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it goes from rope to shoelace. Willow, make a performance check with a -2.
Still holding on.
That's a 12.
That's a 12 after your bonuses?
Hold on. $15.
15. There you go. You don't do quite as well as Sundial did. You're able to stay upright. You're able to stay on the board.
Dippy.
Yeah.
It's more like instead of like she's the next step above because she has wings. It keeps getting caught, and it's like the wakeboarding, where they have like the flag on it,
So
or,
you're
like,
holding onto the
the-
rope, and you're like you feel yourself lifting up off the board, and then you realize that your wings are catching air, and as a result you're catching air, so you're becoming a kite basically, and you're like, no, wait,
Yeah.
and you like fold the wings down to stay on the board, but then you're like, wait, the board is tied to the rope, and you just kind of like let yourself be carried up, and like dangling just beneath Willow at this point, like just a little bit beneath Willow is the board on the rope, while Willow just hangs onto the rope, being kited behind the boat.
So she's just doing like a 900 no scope fucking
Just
kick flip.
A passing
Rotation.
boat takes notice and like rings its bell, and you see a couple of the captain like sticking a hang 10 sign out of the window, just be like, heck yeah, dude, as you pass each other.
That boat kind of smelled like Gorilla Kush.
The rats with scorecards. They return. They snuck onto the boat. Oh.
Yes.
Should I keep that as a prop now?
It's perfect. So, oh, by the way, it's at this moment that you realize, whoever has that ring, I think it was Burk, you still have the ring that you picked up in Squog. The Ring of Vows.
That's right. I do not remember what that ring did.
It is basically the equivalent of a wedding ring.
I think it's a
From
ring.
the
It had
identify.
the initials QG plus OO.
And yeah, the feels like something you forgot to do when y'all were in Squog.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. So that's just something that you have for the time being. Entering
well.
into the second part of the day.
It's okay.
Waters are still calm.
We'll go back at some point.
Zog, this is a fairly straight stretch of water. If you would like, you can step away from the controls and do something else with your downtime if you'd like.
Yeah, I definitely want to go just check in with Butcher, make sure he's doing all right on boat, make sure he's not getting seasick or anything.
He is kind of sitting on a crate, like as a seat. And you see him kind of like, you see him with what appears to be a long glass on his right eye. And you see what looks like an obsidian something or other. It looks like maybe either a blade or a little tip that he just holds onto with one of his hands, and in his other hand he holds a bone.
I'm gonna grab my nice chair from the cabin and bring it out with me as I walk up to him, and I'm like, "This is gonna be better for your back, buddy." Sorry.
He
Blood in
looks
my
up
throat.
he looks up to you, and you see, like, as he looks up, the glass on his eye like magnifies his right eye a lot, and his left eye is just remains the same, and he's just like, oh, and you see his eye, the clarity is clear enough that you can see a scar inside his eye. It's not over the eyelid or the whatever it is. There's literally just a line of tissue that does not connect inside of his eye. Kind of cool looking, but
Yeah.
also he's like, as much as I appreciate that, the old back doesn't actually do me too much bad.
Oh.
It kind of acts as its own rest in its own right. So I appreciate the offer, but it is not necessary. And he just kind of like looks back down to his bone.
Okay, I get the vibe he doesn't want to talk, so I'm just gonna go back.
Well, he likes the company, but he's also like, he was already busy, and he's like,
Yeah.
is there
I'm
anything
just-
that you wanted to talk about?
I'm just gonna put the chair right next to him. And what's your business in Newark? What you got going on?
Well, I previously mentioned my double check-ins, and
Yes.
he kind of like grabs the key out of his shirt and then puts it back in. But I also heard about a family member of mine who had just recently picked up a new position in Newark, and wanted to go see him, say congratulations.
Oh, that's awesome.
And this is going to end up being a present for him. And you see, he's about a third of the way through an engraving. And you you now recognize this as Scrimshaw. He is indelibly engraving onto the outside of this bone what looks like a lithograph. And you see a language that you don't understand, and a picture of what appears to be, he's a third of the way through, a picture of himself. Stony lump, smaller than it is in real life.
Okay.
And like he's about a third of the way through that, and he's just like, yeah, he's finally his tenure with that school is finally paying off.
Oh, congrats. Yep.
Thank you very much. You know, if you ask me, I would rather he continue the family business, but maybe this will improve the family business.
What business would that be?
You see, I'm a farmer. I kind of raise the livestock of the land. You know, alongside my double chickens, I also interact a fair bit with the Brahma deer and the mew cows. It's a living. I kind
Absolutely.
of travel around. Can't give this stuff away, and he kind of like gestures up to the lockbox with the double chickens in it. And he's like, "You might want to go check on them, by the way."
Okay.
Dippy, do the double chickens lay double the amount of eggs or just still one?
Well, if
Wait,
Zog
are they
Or are they
alive?
double the size eggs?
Are they alive?
if Zog goes up to check, you'll find answers to all of these questions.
I don't.
Is it like a fucking big ass egg that they lay? Like
You'll find out if Zog goes to check.
I just asked him. Wait, did we put live chickens? in the
Oh no,
lockbox?
no.
Okay,
They're
okay, I
not
just wanted to
live, but they are still active.
Yeah.
While their bodies are still active for a little after they're dead.
Okay. I can check on them if you want. I wasn't lying when I said that's the only key, but also you're never intruding. Feel free to walk in there, check on them whenever you feel the need to.
He hands you the key.
Yep. Zog just gets up and walks over to the lockbox, opens that thing up.
You like place the key in, and as you do, you realize the lockbox is tighter than it was when you first closed it. And you put the key in, and you like turn it, and the door like bursts open. The bag is now a lot more tense than it was when he first got on, and you can see that it's about doubled in size since he first stepped onto the boat.
It's the fermentation.
Your chicken's a lot bigger now.
Well, they don't typically grow, and
It's-
you look inside.
Yeah.
You see that there are even some in the process of this happening to them. For lack of a better way to put it, bird carcasses. Think of a chicken you buy at Walmart, like a frozen chicken.
Yeah.
It's just the full bird carcass. You see that there are a lot of individual ones in here, and they are all kind of compacted with salt. But right at the very top, you see one that's just growing a lump out of it, and you watch as like it just kind of like splits off into another carcass.
Your dead chickens are having babies.
Oh, that's what double chickens are, me boy. And you see that double chickens are basically asexually reproducing chickens. A new chicken just spawns out of an old one.
Hey, update just dropped. We got new chickens.
We got new chickens, everybody. And as a result, they don't lay eggs. He just farms them.
So,
You know.
wouldn't you use the asexual term for chicken and rooster?
What is the asexual term?
I have no fucking idea, but we can.
I'm
figure
pretty
it
sure
out
it's
right
chickens.
now.
Oh,
I'm pretty
it's
sure it's
chickens.
chicken.
It's hens and roosters.
Yeah, hens and roosters are gendered, and then chicken.
It's a hooster.
It's a hooster.
It's a hooster.
It's a hooster.
A rooster.
It's a hooster.
Or a
They're from
wren.
Canada.
Or a wren.
A wren sounds terrifying.
wren
A
hooster.
rooster sounds amazing.
Wren sounds like a dude.
And
Or
a
just
red-
another bird.
Stir.
Alright,
You hear a wren
I
pass
just-
overhead.
Are these gonna? How often does that happen? Because they're
Well,
gonna.
the salt
get
is
too-
supposed to slow that down. If there's too many, you can just chuck them over the side. I find that, I mean, it's salt water. Like it's.
Man must be rolling in fucking dough if he's just able to
Unless you
goose
want to,
meat
unless you
out
want
his
to
bags.
eat them. I mean, once you cook them up to their cooked temperature, they stop doing that. But
I mean, if you're offering,
Hey,
I can make like a stew for the whole boat tonight.
your boat's going to be drowning in them if you don't cook a few of them, I suppose.
Zog starts preparing like a. Zog starts prepping chicken noodle soup for everyone for dinner.
The big cauldron hanging off the crane, broth inside, like a little bit of the salt from the bag, a couple of the chickens stewed down.
We'll say like 5 gold. For,
5
like,
gold worth
just
of like
food
vegetables
supplies.
just in a
Yeah.
large cauldron. You set your crane.
fuck ton
You
of
have like a
vegetables.
you have like
Well, it's for the whole trip.
you have
that
like a
doesn't
pit.
snowplow
You're
at
gonna put
all.
5 like the trips worth of vegetables in one.
You
stew?
have like a flame pit on the deck of the boat, like that kind of where the. So if you've ever seen the perforated deck where you kind of look down into the cargo hold and see what's in it, or the easier loading into the cargo hold, in that bit's place, you see like a little fire thing to hold fire as you're cooking it on the deck, and you're just like stewing up. Make a. Are you proficient with cook's tools?
I own cooking tools.
We'll say that this is a cook's tools check. Not adding proficiency, but you're not at disadvantage or anything like that either. You're just cooking.
Okay. That's just a 15.
Hold
No,
on. Let him cook.
It ain't bad.
15.
But you said that something happened
Like-
at the third act of the day, so that would probably roll into the third act of the day as well, because it's gonna be dinner.
Yeah, so the third part of the day will come here shortly. Stewing up.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. You like, just like Mama used to make, except a little hint of like cherry tartness.
Yeah.
You think that might have come just from the doppel chicken itself,
Okay.
and you're just like,
Dog used to make.
there you go.
I smell something foul. Are you cooking?
Good
Yeah,
one.
I'm whipping up from chicken noodle soup.
Oh.
It's good for the soul.
Third part of the day.
Zog,
Is
this
Allie?
tastes
Wait,
excellent.
is Allie like vegetarian or something?
No.
Oh, okay.
Allie was making a joke, and then when no one laughed, Allie just kind of was like, "That's fine."
Oh.
The
I
soup is
gladly
excellent.
laughed, but Zog was just in the zone. Zog is.
I was
Allie
feeling a
like,
little
"Fair enough."
peckish.
Puns. Do you say it? I was like, yes. I agree.
Oh, fun.
That pun was excellent.
We're of the same feather.
Perfect. So, day's going
I
well.
can see you flocked the smell as well.
Day.
It
Okay,
flew
I'm sorry,
right
I'm
over
done.
my head.
One more,
All right,
and you're
I'll stop.
one more, and you're losing. You're taking psychic damage. Okay, so as the stew is kind
My
of
humor
like
can't be cooped up, thank you.
take 1 psychic damage.
We
It's
better
worth it.
back off.
Wait.
DM, I find your opinion a poultry.
We better back off on the puns, guys.
It seems your players have flocked together.
Well, 2 can play at this game, Dippy.
Don't get all flighty, Dippy!
I feel like we really ruffled his
Every
feathers.
one of you motherfuckers
agree.
takes 1 psychic damage.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
Worth it.
No.
Worth it.
No.
Worth it.
No. Willow didn't make one, so. Yeah, no psychic. Don't worry about psychic. Okay, so
Oh, I'll give myself one back, don't
that was
mind.
over.
Seems
That
what's
was
good
that
for
was,
the
that was
goose
all.
isn't good
Those
for the
those of you that weren't Ali, that was all like over table. So in real life, you've taken psychic damage.
Real life psychic.
Real life psychic damage.
I feel like the
But that
only
was
one of us
pretty
that
good.
actually took psychic damage was Dippy.
Yeah.
I feel like that
I think
was
we
more of
should-
like
I
a
think
healing,
Yeah.
like a healing word or mass healing word for everyone.
Yeah.
Besides Dippy, that was like dangerous to him. I
Both
like to
child-
think that a
We need to
mass
check and
healing
make sure
word is
he's
just
not on
everybody fucking cracking jokes together real quick.
Boat's
It's like a
chugging
minute-long
along.
ceremony.
As you kind of call everyone to deck for some of the soup, you
Good soup.
Good soup.
you look up ahead as you're kind of like dishing up this soup, and you see what appears to be, for lack of a better way to put it, a roadblock, but on the water. You see boats like all congesting down into like one like giant mass of boats that are all trying to travel the direction you're traveling, but they've just been stopped for some reason. Like they're not moving. So you see this far enough away that you can slow the boat down before you like crash into any of them.
Okay. Yeah.
But, you know, you come to a slow stop as you are like, what the hell is going on? And the boats are close enough together that, like, they're close enough together you could hop between the boats. They're
Oh,
that
wow.
tightly packed. Like, you could walk on from one boat to another boat to another boat without having to use a gangplank at all. And you kind of, like, step out and you see people sitting out on their deck or standing out on their deck and just, like, looking ahead of the traffic to try and see what's going on. You're far enough away from the front of this line that you can't see what's going on. Not yet, at least.
Sundial is gonna go to Zog and like, would you like me to go scout ahead?
Yeah, if you don't mind, just go
Okay.
take Willow with you, buddy system.
All right, Willow.
All right.
I'm
Willow
a
and
swimmer, so the Sundial can just swim in the water, like can just go without breathing.
And Willow,
for
are you going
hour?
above as like a
Yeah.
couple with that? All right.
All right.
So Sundial,
Sundial's gonna jump to the water and just between boats and shit like that because he can fit within like 1 inch.
you drip
of
into the
space.
water, and you kind of like squeeze in between. You're swimming and squeezing in between the boats' hulls and all that various stuff. You will not learn anything until you get to the front of the convoy. Willow,
Okay.
as you're flying above the convoy, make a perception check.
Okay. Well then, that was cocked.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a 17.
17. You notice that you're coming into an area of Quy'zz, and you would have all noticed this as you were looking out of the sides of the boat as well. Despite the land being like parched and covered in like refuse and litter and trash and all this other stuff that has made the aesthetic of this land what it is, like Borderlands aesthetic of like molten like things laying everywhere and just being a general haphazard to the environment. There are still natural flora that grow out here. It's just that they are also, you know, filled with like grown in trash. You ever seen a picture of a bike that's grown into a tree because that tree has grown around it, basically? That's what most of these old growth trees in Quy'zz look like. And you see that there's a few of them, you know, kind of sprouted up from the landscape. They're larger than the average tree because they just basically dominate the landscape as what they are. Their leaves lack any meaningful color to them. But up ahead, Willow, you see that there is one giant old growth tree that has been felled and blockaded across a section of this water. And standing on top of it are 3 people that appear to be holding up picket signs. Sundial, you eventually, swimming in between the boats, you come to a large tree trunk settled in the water. And you can either pop up on the front side of it or the back side of it relative to how you're swimming through it.
Like slap onto it and just kind of like crawl up to the very middle of it, looking more of like a slime instead of a humanoid quite yet, and just use like my blind sight to be able to kind of look around and see what's going on.
You see, as you kind of like crawl up the side and onto one end of this tree, you see, as you kind of crawl up, 3 what appear to be fae. They look like, it looks like one of them is an elf, one of them is a tiefling of some kind, and one of them is kind of like a half elf or like, so you see that they're like, they're definitely more, they look like they probably, you wouldn't have context for this, being as young as you are, other than what Zog has told you,
Okay.
but it looks like they would probably have come from Petal.
Okay.
And you see them wearing these large, like, vests, kind of over what would be their typical clothes, and they're brightly colored. And on their vests, you see the letters. What would this be? You see the letters PC. And
Okay.
you see them holding up signs. You can't read them from this distance. Willow, as you're coming up on this same scene, you see the same three people: elf, half-elf, tiefling, vests. They're definitely Petalites. You don't recognize any of them personally, but you recognize them as being from Petal, and you can kind of read their signs as you're flying up on them, and the signs read decrease with a giant decrease on the top, traffic on the bottom, and a symbol of a boat with a giant red circle and a slash. And you see another one holding a sign that says, you see another sign that says Ruiners of Rivers, and you see the more like flamboyantly gestured pictures of boats with slashes through them or X's on top of them. And the main guy in the middle is holding what appears to be a speaking cone of some kind and a large, like, megaphone. What would be a megaphone in this universe. And you hear him kind of, like, yelling to the boats, and you hear the captains of the boats yelling back. But what you can make out, the leader among them, is speaking intermittently in both Elvish and in Common. And you can roll a history check to see if you recognize what these people are. Sundial, you can do the same, but you are at disadvantage. And you can use your... But I know that I'm going to say that, and you're going to use your trade, so, like...
That's a 10.
10. Oh, I gotcha. Kid moment. So, we'll come back to that in just a second. Welcome to welcome to the prime world conflict of the setting. A 10. These are a fringe group.
Okay, what's going on? Sorry.
You are rolling a history check to see if you can recognize what these are, what these people are. Yeah.
Okay.
What is the guy shouting exactly?
He's shouting.
I got an 8.
He's shouting, "Look at the world that you could have if you look at the world you could have if you changed the way that you do things," and sentiments of a similar caliber. And he, like, you can see behind him is what appears to be a programmed illusion. Or something similar to it. It may be a major image, maybe because it looks completely different from the surroundings around it, obviously. And he's like, save your land, save your water, and all these other, like, sentiments. Willow with a 10, and Sundial, what did you get?
I got an 8.
8. Okay, so you would have the same level of knowledge as Willow. These are part of a fringe group that call themselves the Petal Commissioners. They are denizens of Petal who are outwardly and obviously making a message known that they are here to change, like, that they, whether they are saying they as denizens of Petal or just as Petal Commissioners or as, you know, who they are, where they come from, that they are here to try and fix the problems that are being caused by the people who already lived here.
Okay.
And they're like, think of them as environmental protesters. You ever, over table, think of the people that doused a Leonardo da Vinci painting in soup and then super glued their hand to a wall. That's the caliber of person that you're kind of dealing with here.
Oh.
They have fell a tree. They have fell a tree and put it across the water to blockade these boats to stop them from traveling the waters.
All right.
So that they're like
So
not
you know that
causing any
disguise
more.
self thing that Sundial can do?
The what?
The disguise self thing that Sundial can do?
Sure.
Can he contemplate a humanoid form for a little bit and then create it as like he's taking in all this information?
If you are, if you're doing this, you're kind of just sitting off to the side as the rest of this happens, and it'll take you about 5 minutes.
Okay.
It'll be a rush job, and you'll have.
I mean, like he's been watching this whole thing and kind of like contemplating, so I imagine a little bit less.
Sure. Let's
kind of
call
a-
it.
but-
Let's call it 3 minutes then.
Okay.
Or not 3, 2 minutes. Sorry.
Okay.
And you're just going for like a really basic humanoid form.
I'm gonna go for a dude that looks like an official, but like just general kind of individual that would want like be able to come.
And you've
talk to
definitely
people.
seen a guard.
Probably like yeah,
of
I've
that
definitely seen a
caliber
guard.
before, so.
Maybe he's got like a little like kind of reflective vest on, and a hard hat.
Let's call it 2 minutes then.
Okay, yeah.
Willow, are you trying to make yourself known or make yourself scarce to these people?
Probably scarce.
All right. So you kind of, at this point, you kind of like, you like flit down and you are trying to take cover behind one of the main masts of one of the larger boats here.
You could report back what's going on.
That is true.
As you kind of sit there, you hear a loud, angry conversation between one of the main captains who's at the head of this blockade and the main guy standing on the tree trunk with the big sign and the megaphone. And you hear the conversation. Goes a little something to the tone of this. What is even the point of blockading a main pathway? We have shipments that need to go to the towns downstream. We have people that need to go, that are headed back to their homes. And you hear the main commissioner say, you can walk. You can use other means of transportation that do not damage the land already more than what has already been caused. And you hear the main captain speak again. Half of our engines are gem engines. They don't produce anything to harm the water. And the main commissioner speaks back, but harm the water it does nonetheless. The creatures are agitated and their mutations are sped up by the magical influence that you gain upon them. You hear the main captain speak again. The fish that feed our families, the fish that feed our families, the plants that power some of our generators and homes. You hear the main commissioner. You can find much more infinite power and alternative routes. You can sanction power from other planes with magic, and you can sanction power from other planes through the uses of magic. And he says, yeah, the magic that runs our engines, dipshit. And this argument goes on like this for a little bit more as like 2 minutes kind of pass, and Sundial, you see your form kind of like constituted here.
Okay. So I look like just some middle-aged dude. He looks like a guard, but also has like clipboard and like what seems like planning material.
Like a gem,
And I'm gonna-
like a jelly clipboard and a jelly pen and a jelly.
Yeah, yeah. But he looks like a solid guy.
Yeah. Roll a deception check.
Okay. That's not bad. Deception. That'll be a 21.
21. So you're also able to naturally shift your color a little bit more in the direction of a like the clothes and the humanoid. You know, it's not perfect. It's not a perfect match, obviously, but
No.
you know, you have a little bit of capability of that.
I may put like a little mask on him just so I don't have to animate the mouth.
There you go.
Just because I may not have that quite yet. I'm still
Mask
young
as well.
within the- but like a little construction, like I don't know, like face
Of
mask or
course.
something like that. Nothing. And something that I'd like to do, and I'm just gonna say like this is probably a magic item that Sundial has seen and is able to replicate because he is part or he is slime.
That'll
He's
probably
gonna
be an
have
Arcana
boots
check.
of. He's gonna make boots of like painting, but it's just him leaving little bits of slime behind. So
I would say you won't even
basically-
need a check for that. I would say that like that'll if that comes up, then that can be your excuse.
Okay,
But
cool. So what Sundial is going to start doing is just marking the tree down with the boot, and making like every 1 meter just marks as he gets closer and closer. He's just going to
As he-
say,
yeah, as he gets
"All
closer,
right,
the tiefling who
guys,
is
it's
on
time to start taking this apart. I need names. I need information. I gotta write you a ticket."
the tiefling kind
you
of like turns to look at you in the middle of your statement, and he's just like, "We got a permit." And he like holds
That's
out
fine, bud.
and he
Can
holds
I
out
see your
a
permit?
piece of paper, and you kind of like look at it, and you can see officially signed by the Council of Petal.
Okay, I'm gonna roll to do fucky work. Okay, like to have like an edge or like a luck roll kind of situation where I can kind of play with it.
Yeah, just what are you trying to do? I'll tell you what.
I'm trying to be smart enough that I can take the wording and like kind of manipulate it.
Sure, that'll be an insight roll. I'll call it.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay, that is a 17.
17. You look at the commission paper, and you see that it is a petition to protest signed by the Council of Petal.
Okay.
In the part of the river
Okay.
that you're in, Petal is more than 1,000 miles away, and you can see that this permit is like a little like sun aged. It looks like they have used this permit like a couple of times.
All right, I see what you done wrong here. One, you're far off your lane here, bud. You're only able to go up into Petal, and that's about 1,000 miles down west. And you're here in the east, where I hope you didn't get lost. Secondly, nowhere in this does an environmental protest give you the right to be able to cut down an old 100-year-old tree just to plug up the area. You can protest off to the side, but you can't be here. And that's why I got to write you the ticket. First, you cut down an old tree and you blocked off roadway. That's not allowed. All right? You gotta let traffic go. Your word can be heard as they go past. You're kind of in the wrong. Now, we can do this the easy way or the hard way, but either way, I gotta get guys down here now to take apart this fucking tree. And I need you to, and I'm gonna need your information.
And you hear a couple of the boat captains are kind of like standing up, and they're going like, yeah, take away the tree, and they're like chanting now with the like at them, and you see the leader of the group kind of look to you, the tall elven male. You can see like a very smooth, like noble complexion about him, right? Like, you know, he is like the aristocrat of the group, you know, the head honcho, the second-hand man who went directly from the capital of Petal to supervise this type person. And he kind of looks at you and he says, "Within the relegations that are given to us by the land, we are allowed to protest in any way that we please. It is simply our God's given right."
Well, God doesn't own this land. That would be New York, sir.
3 days that way, they have the sanctioning body to cover the land out
Oh, are
here
you trying to
in
give
the
me sanctioning
wastelands.
bodies an area? All right.
I believe I am. This,
I like
this,
you to
the
know that
area,
this is kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
and
really,
he
you
points
don't
to the
got
permit.
right to do shit out here, bud.
Points the
It's
permit
wild.
that ratifies protest anywhere in the uninhabited areas of the shriveling Badlands, and which is this river runs through the shriveling Badlands. As
Well,
has been, like,
here's your problem right here. It's uninhabited. I'm looking around right here, bud. It looks pretty inhabited. Now, the problem, no matter what, one, you cut down a fucking tree, you blocked off an area, I'm getting all your fucking information, and we'll sort it out in court later.
Small price to pay to
But for
save the
now,
land
I
that
need
we're
you
trying
out.
to save. And make an intimidation check at this point.
Okay.
Can I
Willow,
do something?
What would you like to do? Yeah.
Okay. Can I look around to see if there's any like
Yeah, baby.
barrels of fruit or tomatoes or something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Just make a perception check.
I got a 21.
21 intimidation? He kind of looks at you and he kind of like tugs at his collar a little bit and he's like, you see, we're, well,
This is coming straight from the mayor himself, all right?
and they kind of like stand there like mouths agape and the crowd is going like, take away the tree, take away the tree, like in a
All right,
large
bud, come on in, come on. And I'm going to start waving out to nobody.
no
Because it's only me.
the half elf dives into the water at that point. He just like is just trying to step away
there's
from the
one.
situation.
Who's next, bud? I've done this 100 times.
The elf like looks away, looks at the splashdown, and he's just like looks to the tiefling, blue skin, blue skin,
by the
ram's
way, while
horns.
this is happening, can I pocket their like permit?
You can try.
Okay.
Yeah, make a
I
sleight
got
of
a
hand check.
16, by
16.
the way. Yeah.
Barrel full of raw produce sitting on the top deck of what looks like a shipping vessel, a small shipping vessel, independently owned.
Okay.
19.
19. You kind
On
of
sleight
like your little pseudopod just kind of like shoots out, like, you know, the silly hands, like the rubber silly hands.
Oh no, I
You just
imagine
kinda,
that like at some point in time I just kind of like
Yeah.
went this and I made it look like it was in the vest, but then it just went into my body.
Yeah. It just like frog tongue like and just like going down into the by the way, Willow and Sundial are the only people who are close enough to this action to see what's going on. The rest of you are still kind of inhabiting the
Eagle my
boat.
20 perception. I'm kidding.
You're just kind of wondering. You're just kind of sitting there wondering what the heck's going on. And you would be updated if Willow comes back to you, but Willow hasn't come back to you just yet.
We just decided to take this into our own hands.
Yeah.
And you're doing it
Oh,
well.
yeah, this
You're
is
doing
easy.
it well.
Yeah.
Can I cast Pass Without a Trace on me? And then grab some of those and start
Okay.
chucking it and pretty much saying, yeah, leave! And just throwing it. the produce.
Pass Without a Trace is cast on you, which, funnily enough, makes some of the other denizens of the boats around you more hard to spot as well, and you hand them some tomatoes.
Let's go!
And you just kind of like, and you see, and Sundial, from the crowd, from somewhere in the crowd not too far from you, you see tomatoes and like these raw tomatoes and raw apples are just being chucked at these other two, and the tiefling, underneath the roar of the crowd, you hear the tiefling going, I think we're done here. Like, I think we're done here. We just need to go. And like the elf says, no, I have a better idea. And he kind of like looks out to with the megaphone, and it's at this point that I need you to either directly influence what he's about to do, or try to stop what he's about to do.
If he's getting like advantage in some sort of way on a roll or something, I can just easily stop it. But
He's not getting
what do I
advantage.
have? Okay, not
He's
getting advantage.
rolling something through the megaphone right now. Okay.
Where is it? Give me 1 second. Oh, do I not have that? Where the hell? Do I not have catapult anymore?
I don't know. Do you not have catapult?
I'm going to, with like my spell casting, just like firebolt the freaking megaphone out of his, like, out of his area. Like, just kind of shoot that.
Okay, make an attack roll because he did not roll particularly well for this.
Okay. Ooh, that's nice. That is a 25.
25. He manages.
No, wait, 23. My bad.
23. He manages to get the spell off through the megaphone, but you knock it out of his hand with like a little, and it falls into the water like behind him a ways. He is still able to get off the first part of what he wanted to do. Through the megaphone, you hear him say the word. You hear him say the word silence, like just as a magnified voice, not as a creepy like gravelly voice. That was just, and you. Woo! Hello. Oh my God, that was terrible all around. 1, 1, 2, that's 5, 7, plus 8, that's 15, plus 5.
I guess I could have cast Dispel Magic and just been like, no, fuck
20.
you.
So, through the megaphone, the 20 plus whatever this is. That's a little better. 10, 7, 8, 20, 5, 45. Okay. So
Actually, I could do this.
in the group of people in front of the tree.
Dippy,
Among
before you
commoners.
do this whole thing, there is something that I can do.
Sure, what's
I
that?
can use a sorcery point and use my fire as a quicken spell and then cast a normal spell. Can I cast Dispel Magic?
Ooh. I'll tell you what. Now that you've mentioned that, I need you to roll a initiative roll to see if you're able to do this before he does this.
Okay. That's a 22.
21. Son of a bitch. All right. Dispel magic. So firebolt, you knock the megaphone. So dispel magic to dispel the megaphone. So subtract 25 from whatever from that, which is going to lessen the effect of this, and knocking the megaphone out of his hand. So of the group of like commoners in front of the like common fishermen in front of the tree, you see about 4. I'll call it 4 of them, just kind of like, you know, get a wash of just a wash of exhausting energy over them, and you see them all kind of like flop either down into their chair or off to the side. None of them fall over the railings of their boats, but they are all affected by a sleep spell. As the megaphone is knocked out of his hand, and you're like, and he looks to you, and he kind of and you see him tap a emblem on his vest as he kind of like looks to you. And in that moment of him tapping the emblem on his vest, you see a flare shoot like basically out of the emblem straight up into the air, and you watch him begin to disappear unless you do something about this.
Well, I used both my casting. This is on his turn, I'm guessing.
So that was so it will take until the end of his next turn for this to fully materialize. You have one more turn to try to do something about this.
I mean, he's leaving. Part of me is just kind of like, okay, that's fine. Oh God, what do I want to do? Do I want to stop this from happening? They're all leaving. It's not a big deal. Should I stop this guy from leaving? It's not like he's doing anything wrong. He's just cut down a tree. I have all his information. I pocketed the fucking thing. I'm just gonna let him go. I'm just gonna let him go.
You're just gonna let him go. All right.
Yeah.
He
Can I
fades
do
away.
something?
Yeah.
Oh,
What would you like to do?
Is he am I 30 feet within him?
Yeah. I'll say you had to be
hold
30
on.
feet away from him to chuck a tomato at him.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Charm person.
He's a fae. He's immune to charms.
Mm-hmm.
Elves are immune to charm effects.
And Willow would know that.
I know. Okay, then. Never mind.
I won't let you waste. I won't let you waste that slot because you would know that. You just kind of watch as he fades away, and under his breath, Willow, you understand what he says. He says something in Elvish. Or actually, you don't have Elvish as a language.
Yeah,
do
I
you?
don't speak Elven.
Do you speak Sylvan? Is that the language
Yes.
that you have? That's right. He does. He says something in Sylvan to you, Sundial. You don't understand it. Willow, you do. He says, this isn't over. Under his breath in Sylvan, and he kind of like fades away, and the tiefling does the same with his vest. He did the same with his vest on the elf's turn, where he just kind of like fades away into like a shower of cherry blossom petals that all just kind of fill the area.
I'm gonna move, like, make a little piece of wire from my slime, and then cast message to Zog.
A little too far away from message. How far?
Oh,
how
damn.
far away does message go? 120 feet or 60 feet?
120.
Oh, then you would be close enough.
Okay.
Just
and
barely.
I'm gonna forget to drop my accent and just be like, "Hey, Zoggy boy, it's Sundial. We gotta figure it out. But do we have anything to cut down a tree?" What kind of
Dog
thing?
out loud to everyone else in the group. Sundial's been captured and someone is trying to impersonate him. I have to go save my
Terrible
friend.
Oh no.
And Zog just starts. You said the boats were close enough to touch. Zog starts running on everyone's boat to try to get to
Zog,
Sundial.
All right.
Somebody has
everyone
Zog,
else.
and then responding to the message. I don't know who you are, but I have a unique set of skills.
Does anyone else know how to drive this boat?
It's not going anywhere right now. We're in a traffic jam.
It's a traffic jam still.
Can I go
Alright.
You
over
put that
to
into
Sundial?
park.
No, but what if we need to drive it? That's what I always like. The captain is left for an open water.
I am Zog. You kidnapped my friend. Prepare to die.
My boy! My boy!
My boy.
As you get closer, as you kind of take these running
Can I-
strides, Zog, you see this guard standing on the trunk of this tree, and you're just like, who, and you're just like, who is that guy? I need to talk to him.
Yeah, what's going on here? You, sir, you look important and
Sir,
official. You
sir,
have a badge,
sir.
sir?
Can I throw a potato at him?
At me?
At Zog?
Yeah.
Sure.
Eventually.
Zog, make a dex save.
Can I say what my
can
character's
chaos.
name is? Because I never said it.
What was it?
He's Puggins not Knoll.
Puggins Knoll.
So he's a Knoll that's a pug.
Knoll Puggins. Oh my god.
Zog
I
gets
love it.
whacked by this potato, turns in the direction, and just goes, I'm not hungry, thank you. So,
And you see Willow.
Where's Sundial? Who kidnapped him?
She points to
He
the guard.
kidnapped him?
Oh,
You look at the guard. Sundial. You see Zog say, "You
Give me back
kidnapped
my
him?"
friend.
Hey there, Zoggy. How's it
Don't
going?
call me that. Don't. Who are you?
I'm. Oh. Hi, Zog. It's Sundial.
You did a.
it's
you change
cool.
again? Is this permanent?
No, I can change it. I just
not.
don't know if the people that were here before. Are still
Okay,
here.
we gotta get. All right, get off the log so we can get rid of it.
Okay.
right.
Yeah. So.
The guard kind of steps down onto the boat that you are standing on, Zog, and you see
right back
one of the
inside.
one of the deckhands on this boat is just asleep.
Okay. Good for him. He's gonna wake up with what I'm about to do. I'm gonna cast Shatter on the tree branch to break it.
Oh, it's a big tree. You sure you want to try that?
I'll do it at 3rd level.
Okay. How much damage does it do to an inanimate object?
I think it just does max damage to inanimate objects.
And at 3rd
10-foot
level,
radius.
that's how much damage?
3d8, and then at higher levels,
So 24.
using a spell slot of 3rd or higher, you get 1d8 extra. So 3d8
32.
plus another d8. Yeah, 32
So-
damage.
32.
Hey guys, I'm gonna be back in like 15 minutes.
All right.
Okay.
We'll let this play out here. We'll take a short break.
Yeah.
We'll come back. We'll come back at that point. You watch the rest of the boats watch as this shatter, just like you watch the middle of the tree just fucking explode into a 1,000 little splinters. Then they are all kind of like traveling out in the direction of all the boats that are sitting in the water. There are a couple of stray splinters that. Among the people in the boats, a grand total of 11 damage is spread between the people who get these like shards of wood and splinter in them as they're just watching this happen. And you hear one of them go, "Hey, what's the big idea?" And you
Did
see
you want the tree branch gone?
and he looks and he's like, "You know, I did, but that hurt." And he was just like, "It makes me feel conflicted." And you watch as the trunk of this tree, of this old growth tree, just kind of like splits in two and opens up like what essentially becomes the floodgates. The water starts rushing down the river as it did before, stronger than it did before, and you see that some of the boats start to move with it. This is going to become a small...
Is anyone manning the boat?
We'll figure that out when we come back from break. So,
No.
we're going to be back very shortly. You just stick around and we'll have some more fun times. See you in about 10-15.
Goodbye.
shipping boat or shipping.
Hello, and we're back. So,
Welcome back.
let's do a little bit more of the session, and then we'll call it a little bit later, shall we? As you kind of hop down onto your boats, we are actually going to enter into a little bit of a different thing here. Let me see. I need a. As the tree trunk splits in half and starts floating down the river, the water cascading with it, the boats start to cascade with it as well. Everybody who is not on the Toad Skipper, make yourself known. So it's Sundial, Zog, Willow, Burk, Quinlan, and Allie, you all stayed on the Toad Skipper.
Yes.
Okay. You hear an explosion. And you see wood splinters coming from the front of this line of boats. And then you feel the water beginning to flow beneath the deck of the boat. From below from below deck you hear Butcher go, "Is there some kind of problem out there?"
It's handled. I'm gonna immediately run back to the pilot, the captain's crew. I'm like, I don't know how to drive a boat, but Allie's got to do something.
Quinlan is
Immediate
right
action.
there
I
with
like
Habit
it. I
is
like
kicking
it.
in.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. All right.
You mean anxiety?
No.
Give me an
Not
anxiety roll. All right,
It's not
Willow, you can fly. You're not going to be dealing with
Yeah.
this as much. Zog and Sundial,
Yes.
you are both going to start making athletics checks for me to start running back across the decks of these boats to get back to your boat.
Ah.
Yes.
And I need you to,
I'm just gonna into the water.
I mean, you can do that as well. It will still be, I will have a different check for you if you do that, because you are going to be swimming against tide and between bows of boats. Like, there is still potential for you to get hurt if
Yeah.
two bows like collide into each other. There's
Yeah.
not enough
Yeah,
space
yeah.
for you to squeeze through.
I am gonna cast Bless on me, Sundial, and Willow.
All right. As the water starts moving, you're like, we gotta go. And
Yep.
Bless is now affecting all three of you.
Bless your
will.
ass.
Bless is attack rolls, saving throws, or actions, or
Added
guidance
attack
is
rolls or
action
saving
checks.
throws. Yeah.
So
save-
attacks and
yeah,
saves.
saving throws as well. So
All right.
saves at least.
That'll help Sundial a little bit more than Willow or yourself. I need. So Zog, make an athletics check. Sundial, I guess, make a dexterity check.
Wouldn't it be a save if I'm like trying to?
Yeah, make a
Avoid
dexterity. Yeah. So let's call Sundial dexterity saves. Willow, you're fine, unless you're trying to help. If you're trying to help, I'll give you something to roll too.
I
And
got a
make it
24.
easier. Wow, 24 athletics. Okay, there you go. You're just like, so you were doing these. Holy shit.
Oh.
So you were doing these long, like, leaping strides to run across the boat towards Sundial. You're just making them right back, and
Yep.
you see the boats start to kind of like buckle and like move with the water, and they're like, and you hear the chiming of bells as they're all kind of like trying to make their cases known to what order they need to go in as this water starts flowing. 24, you're perfectly fine. Sundial?
I got a 10.
10. Two boats are kind of converging on each other. You're like, can I make that gap? And before you can finish that thought, they close right on top of you. I will call that a D8 because you are amorphous. Which means that's 8 crushing damage.
Oh,
Thanks.
my nerve.
My single nerve.
My nerve. Again, athletics and another save. You have. We're gonna do this.
Can I,
Counting
if
this
I
time,
just-
we're gonna do this two more times. So this is number 2 of 3.
Dippy? I will like have Sundial drop below the ships, and so instead of taking damage, he's fighting against like
The tide.
current and
Yeah,
like,
the current.
tide
Yeah.
and stuff, so he's saving against that.
Okay, so you'll go slower, which means that you will make one more check, but I will let you do that.
Burk's kind of make his way on the toad skipper just towards the front of it to watch for them hopefully making their way back.
Okay. You see, at this point you would see Zog. Zog,
Yes.
athletics check.
Oh, another one?
Yeah, we're doing 2 more, buddy.
Okay. 19.
19. Okay, you stumble a little bit on the bow of one boat, but
Yep.
you're just keeping stride.
It was the
Burk,
guy
you
that
see-
yelled at me that I heard him. He kind of stuck out his cane to trip
Yeah.
me while I'm trying to run.
Yeah, Burk. At this point, you see Zog like running along the ship tops alley. Your boat, the boat is already kind of oriented well to like flow with the river, but make an intelligence check just to see if you're like if you can like properly man the controls in case something does happen in the next round.
I like tap my pocket where my tarot deck is, and I cast guidance on myself. I just mutter like, "Macabre, guide me," and I'm to give myself that extra advantage, that extra boost
There you
on
go.
that roll.
And end
So,
up with a
intelligence check. That is a 17 plus a D4, which is 19.
19. Bah,
Never
bah.
done this before. So.
It's one hand on the speed and one hand on the speed, one on the speed, one on the wheel, feet firmly planted. You got this. You are now like
Fake
alert.
it till you make it.
Sundial, what was your dex?
I got an 8.
8. Okay, the boat
Oh, buddy.
docks are kind of like the boat docks. The boat bows are kind of colliding above you, and they cause a little bit of turbulence. And you're like, as you're just trying to swim upstream, like the valiant salmon, you kind of are not. You don't make too much forward progress, but you are safe at least from the collisions of the bows. You do see a couple of fish, like, swimming downstream with the current now, that you're kind of like, whoa! Make your third. And Zog, this will be your final athletics before you reach your boat. Unless something terrible happens.
Ooh. 10.
10. You trip over the railing of one of the boats, and you just like, whoop! And you just smack straight down onto the deck of this boat. And the guy helming the wheel kind of looks down at you and is like, "Oh shite!" And he kind of like reaches down and like pulls you up,
Thanks,
pulls
buddy.
you up by the shoulder.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
you can see the gaps between the boats are starting to widen out this way as some of the boats make it through the blockade, and now not so much the trouble of collision, but Sundial's worries at this point are engine wash and being like all chopped up by some propellers, or gem engines. You have to
They
make
still have
another one because you
propellers.
tripped onto your boat. Yeah.
Yes.
You have to, you are going to make one more. And Burk, you see Zog just like face plant onto this boat like 20 feet away from the toad skipper.
You like don't see anything, and then all of a sudden they pop out of nowhere and just
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of scoot more towards the front and kind of like reach my hand out like towards where Zog is at.
All right. That might come in handy.
Yeah,
Allie,
I got a
boat's beginning to move. Your controls are
got a 10.
controls are firmly held. Sundial, buddy. Discuss amongst yourselves for just a second. I gotta finish this.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Quinlan, what's happening out
listen.
there?
I'm using the bless. I'm just not rolling great.
Buddy.
Oh no. Oh.
I got all my good rolls at the beginning. It might be another death for Sundial here, you guys.
Oh no. No.
You won't be able to
Do
see
you
me.
need help?
I'm underneath all the boats.
All right.
None of you guys can see me.
All right, 10. You're just like away from one and into another. I put all my d6 on the bottom of this case. Hold on. 1d6.
Oh.
I chose a D8, got an 8. I chose a D6, got a 6.
All right.
My God.
You know, I made a choice, and
You
it's
did
something that I
make a
think that
choice.
Sundial would. Because he's like, I'm curious. I'm gonna figure out my shit. No,
Oh no. This is a learning experience. All
I
right.
don't have bad decks either. Like, it's a +3.
Zog and Sundial, one more check each.
Okay, that's a 12.
12. The distance between the boats draws like a little farther, and you kind of like jump to one and like step, jump. Burk, your outstretched hand catches Zog's hand before he plummets over the side of the boat into the water below, and you are just holding on to him for dear life before he can
good?
fall into the water
I'm
below.
aboard.
Hey, Burk.
Hi.
Sundial.
I'm gonna use an inspiration.
Oh my God. What did you get before you were rolling this?
Don't worry about
inspiration?
it. Don't.
Okay,
Don't
okay.
worry about this next one.
Okay. Oh God. Oh no. What? What happened, buddy?
I got a little bit better than a 10. I got a 12.
A 12. You see the distinct markings on the underside of what is the hull of the Toad Skipper, and you kind of like barnacle yourself to the underside, just, and you try to like maneuver like up the side, just kind of like goose slither up the side of the boat, and as you do, it just kind of like, Allie, I'll actually come to you for this. The boat starts
Great.
moving. Make a water vehicles check. And you're
Okay, I
not
don't
proficient,
have
so
that,
it's
so
just a
what is
straight
that?
D20.
There's a straight d20. Okay.
This is your first time doing this. Do you want -2 or disadvantage?
Not
Uh-oh.
take
Oh, no.
disadvantage.
Disadvantage. All right. Go for
I'll
it.
cancel it
Huh.
because they're within 30 feet of me. So you just have to roll
Okay.
It's
once.
an 11 then.
11.
Do I get to add anything to it? I get to add proficiency to skill checks that I don't already have proficiency
Oh yeah,
in
you
as
get
a
like half
bard.
of- right?
So
Jack of all trades.
what's my proficiency at this level? 3. So that's 14.
14. And
Yes.
you just kind of like, as the boat starts to move, you feel the wheels starting to like come away from you a little bit, and you're like, no. And you like
Absolutely
correct
not.
it, and you just like,
Go
and the boats and the Toad Skipper and another boat just come within like a fucking like pubic hair of each other, like colliding, and
First time driver.
it just like
Have to sticker that says student
Just like-
driver on it.
Yeah.
no worries. He just looks over, no worries, eyes on the water, and like he corrects his boat as well. Sundial, you're not immediately crushed between these two boats as you kind of
What's the
slither up the
damage?
side. Zog, you are dangling. Burk, you can pull him up.
Pull him up.
And you do so. As the wind subsides, the water begins to just
I'm
slowly
hurt.
churn.
I'm hurting.
Sundial, as you just like come up out of the water looking like a beat up like green sausage roll, just like on the deck of the
I
boat.
was gonna say jelly roll.
Yeah, jelly
fish.
roll. Yeah, like a Jolly Rancher, just like all chewed up and spat onto the deck of the boat.
God, oh.
You can see wood splinters in Sundial's form as he kind of gathered some material on his venture.
I made a mistake.
Clearly.
I think I handled the whole situation pretty good, but like the comeback here, I should. Oh god.
You see a gash. You see like what's basically like you just like jello cut like a knife gash through your leg. Like you can reform it, but now something is missing from your leg.
Oh no.
Where
I'm
there's
gonna look
normally
for-
where there's
I'm gonna
normally a
Can I cast?
where there's normally a
healing
patch of where there's normally an additional patch of gray slime, it's no longer there.
Oh no. Ken, he's gone.
If
Anyway.
anyone wants to look off the side of the boat, and see if they can find kin. They can.
I'll keep
You
my
don't
eyes in
have
the
to.
water.
Huh?
You don't have
Yes.
Right ahead.
I'll
Willow,
Yeah?
that's something that you can
Yeah.
do. You can check.
Am I in the boat now?
Yeah, you
I
are
could
on the
easily
boat. Yeah.
do that.
If I hear that, I'm gonna be looking.
All right.
can I attempt
So
to as well?
yeah, of course.
What am I rolling? Perception?
Yeah, go ahead. Make perception.
Investigation?
Oh
And
no.
they roll absolute dog shit.
I got an 18.
18.
Now you can see.
Wait.
I rolled a 22.
22.
21.
21. All right.
21.
Everybody who rolled, well, you all rolled above a 17. You all rolled above 16. So you all kind of like look out into the water, and it's kind of like one of those situations where you triangulate. All three of you kind of like focus on one spot at the same time, as you see just floating in the water an amorphous blob of just like gray goo sticking up out of the wave. And it's not like moving necessarily. It's not like trying to get away, but it's also not making an advance to your boat.
Where's your pot?
It's on his head.
Captain's quarters.
Or it would, yeah. It was on his head earlier today.
I didn't take it with me.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
Can I go grab it?
Yeah, you go into the captain's quarters, grab the pot, and it kind of like shrinks down in your hand a little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Gonna
You're gonna
fly
like
down
diving
there and grab
attack. You're like, and just like scoop kin up in the pot. the Stuka whistles just. Make a, let's call it a dexterity check. Why don't we?
Can I use an inspiration?
You can if you have some.
I do.
You hear the people cheer as the blockade moves along.
I'm happy I used that inspiration. That
Wow.
was a natural 20.
Hey!
Hey.
So you like pinpoint, and you scoop up. You look in the pot. Perfect little blob of gray goo.
There you go. Also, you're kind of fucked up
Yeah, I
in
know.
multiple ways.
You fly back to the deck and you set the pot down. You see Kin
Can I
kind
insight
of like
check that?
you see
What do you
Kin
mean
kind
by
of
that?
like slither out of the pot and just like reincorporate himself into Sundial's leg.
Good thing you were using disguise self,
Yeah.
because he totally said this isn't over.
Oh, well, I guess it's a good thing that they don't know who the fuck I am, so, you know.
I'm still driving. Help.
Oh,
Yeah.
I will run.
Make another water vehicles check as you say that.
Oh no.
Dude.
someone help me.
Also, healing word on him
Oh, thank you.
on Sundial.
All right.
That's a
No!
Uh-oh.
natural one.
This
No.
It's a
I
natural
have an
one?
Inspiration. Yeah.
I am
Uh-oh.
helping. So,
Sundial at 6.
thank
As you kind of like are correcting, you're just passing the two halves of the stump for the blockade. As you like, as you pass by, you just hear.
You're Patrick on the side of the ship. You're
You're
good.
good.
You're good.
You're
You're good.
Zog. The boat churns in the water as a giant gash is ripped in the side of the boat. Below deck, you hear Butcher kind of go like, ah! And he like,
fine.
you hear a little tumble to the floor. And you are now in open. You're now in open water.
All
I'm
right.
just gonna go down and check on Butcher.
Yeah, somebody check on him.
All right,
Go
Burk.
down and check on Butcher.
All right, go down.
Sundial, let's use your mending powers to fix up the boat really quick, the best we can, before we hit the road.
This is a long gash. It's
Oh, it
it's
is?
one continuous gash too. Mending is not gonna
And
fix this.
here's the thing: I don't have mending. I have mold earth, so I can like mold stone and shit like that.
I don't
Yeah,
have
this
mending.
is wood.
Oh, you
But I
have
don't-
mending.
But I also don't have mold. Like I don't have
don't have
earth anymore around me.
You don't have stone. You don't have earth right now. It is just a gash in the side of the boat. Luckily, it's above the water line, so you're not taking on water.
Yeah,
But it is
Do we know
noticeable.
of any? Do we know of any shipwrights? I can fix this.
In this area, not until we get to New York City, I'm assuming.
You
Wait, is
you
Burk
would have
something like a wood carver.
you would have to pull back in your memory bank along this stretch of the river. This being day one of 4, possibly 5. You know that you're not going to reach another large town until day 2, and that will be the. Oh fuck! Why did I start a statement without having my master sheet up? No.
Just alley.
That will be the town of.
I messed it up. Tried my best.
Of-
Didn't work.
No, you did good. I'm not mad at you, Allie. I'm not mad.
Can I go?
That'll be in the town of.
go.
That'll be in the town of
Do what you gotta do.
Zluffchester.
Okay.
Zluffchester
there.
will be another 2 days from here.
We can make it.
So.
Do we have anybody that's able to actually like put wood on an area and fix it?
You did at
I
one
mean, I
point.
know a little bit about how to fix my own
And you
boat,
have
but I
a
could, like,
compatriot. You have a compatriot who owns a junkyard that
yeah.
was able
This
to
is
do
true,
that. Tesla, we love you.
but that compatriot isn't with us. We don't have like
Yeah.
a shipwright or anything.
Nope.
I was just.
It's a
And
good
that
thing you
compatriot
bought.
is
It's a good thing that you
opposite
bought that
direction.
mending lumber that I already mentioned previously,
Yes, which I was planning on using.
and it'll
Oh.
take.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
As you all kind of settle in Burk, you go down and you see Butcher. You see that. You see like a freshly carved like mark across the stone on his shoulder, like the craggy rock on his shoulder, and it like if you took a piece of chalk and just like marked it across a rock. That's what this looks like. And he's like laying on the floor, just like. I've been in worse. Don't worry about me. And he like places his hands down. Make a
Go over
perception.
and, like, help.
Yeah, as you're actually, if you're helping him up, then you won't need to make a check either. As you help him up, you kind of go down and pick him up by the rocky shoulder, and you see something lodged in the back of the shoulder. You see a blue gem. You recognize it as a sapphire, and it seems as if there's something inscribed on it, but you're not sure what. As you help him up, and then he stands up and he's like, "Oh, thank you so much, sir. I do appreciate that immensely."
Of course. Sorry for the movement. There was a slight situation along.
That's expected on the open water. And
Seems
no
so.
complaints from me. And he like sits back down on the crate, which now he kind of sinks a little lower into because the structure of the crate was weakened a little by the impact. And he just like, "I'll be all right down here as long as I don't come into any more incidents in the next like 10 minutes, I suppose." And you don't. The boat continues down its wayward path. The sun begins to set. A little bit of cloud cover comes in the dead of the night as the night begins to take over. As you continue to boat along, you see on like the bank of the river a sight that is familiar to you, Zog. And this is the first instance of a certain point reward being implemented into the game. A chain of rest stops
Oh.
that kind of dots along the rivers and streams for boats to come in and make themselves known, make themselves, repair themselves or recharge whatever engine or generator their boat uses.
Hey, look, it's a Wisdy.
This is 613. This is 613 rest stops fueled by MP fuel instead of
Yep.
BP. It's MP.
Does anyone want to get any like taquitos or you know, there's potions of energy in there, I would assume. There's like very miniature portable hookahs that are becoming very fashionable right now.
Honestly, Zog, if there's anything that you think I should try, that'd be great.
Oh, you have to try it. So they have the machine that has a big chunk of ice in the top of it, and you slowly carve the ice away, and they put different flavorings in it.
As you walk inside, you kind of park your boat. You kind of park your boat in one of the resting slots on the.
How is my
the
soup?
shore.
Did my soup survive all the wreckage?
A good portion of it spilled out onto the top deck, and it just kind of
I am
seeps into
so
the top deck.
sorry.
You have about 2/3 of the cauldron left, but this was a large cauldron. Like
Yeah,
you
there's
spilled
enough
about like
still.
5, maybe 6 gallons of soup. It's
We were gonna end up
it's
having to use
lot
a
of
Tupperware container for this. For
Tupperware.
No, the chickens.
The chickens are cooked, so the chickens are not going to multiply anymore.
Talking about the chickens in the lockbox.
Yeah,
Shake and bake.
Zog, the lockbox is getting a little tight again.
I don't know what to do about that. I don't know. Like, I feel
mean-
bad just throwing out all this food.
We could try and trade it a little bit with the people in there, see if they do like convince them of doing like rotisserie
There we
chickens.
go. I bet, yeah. They have this thing that you walk on it. It's like a world. It's like a treadmill, and it's connected to a bunch of cylindrical pieces of meat that slowly roll
Ah,
over a
I don't know
fire.
what walking is, but okay.
Somebody like a small race has to walk on a treadmill to make the hot dog roller roll. That's great.
Yep.
Oh my god, I love that. You guys are okay.
Oh my god.
First off, wonderful encounter, everybody. Everybody take 1 inspiration point. Zog, for
Okay.
describing 613 and MP gas so well, take another inspiration point.
Hey.
Allie, valiant effort on the boat, take another.
Allie's
And
took emotional damage
Burk,
from that.
checking up on a passenger and saving Zog's life, take another. So you get an extra. All right. So everybody should have gotten 1. Zog, Burk, and
Yes.
Allie, and Zog, Burk, and Allie would have gotten 2. So well done.
I'm gonna have Quinlan come with me into the store.
All right, you step inside and you see
I don't want to go along.
I'm just gonna be working on the boat while they're inside.
you see these like a version of continual flame that is, or rather a continual light spell that's cast on these like Lyramite rods that give off like this sickly like greeny blue glow. You know, it's not a perfect white light. And this is like, you know, this is a very thin shard of like Lyramite rod. It's refined to act as a filament of sorts. And
I feel. Oh.
you kind of walk in and you see behind the counter is a what appears to be a half orc cyclops, 1 eye, his tusks kind of poking out, and he is wearing a green, yellow, and red. He's wearing like a uniform top, a polo that has like green, yellow with yellow and red piping and stripes, and on the corner on his pocket is an emblem of 613, which has like a giant stylized red number 6, and then and then the word 13 underneath it. And he kind of looks at you and he goes, "Hello and welcome to 613. How can I help you?"
I just feel like what happened right before we did this, or like while we were getting ready to leave the boat, is that me and Quinlan just went and like made a list, or at least Quinlan had it. We were just going, yeah, like, okay, what does everybody want so we can pick it up all at once.
Well, if you'd like, if anyone would like to add anything to
So
that
if any-
list, speak now. Forever hold your peace.
I am good.
Okay.
Oh, actually, they have this type of new mead that is infused with caffeine. I think it's called like 5 Crazy or something like that. If you can get one of those.
Allie definitely asked for a Fort Sanity, which
what?
is like a fruity, super alcohol-y drink called the Fort Sanity.
Got it. Okay. All right.
I don't get that
Do they
one.
have
Sorry, you're gonna
wine?
have to run that one by
It's
me.
not Loco. Ha.
Oh, okay. So a 5 Crazy and a Fort Sanity. Yeah, there you go. Two competing brands in
Quinlan,
the
are you
same
writing all this
juncture.
down? Because I don't know half this stuff.
All right, I can. Yeah, I'm taking note. So a couple of Fort Sanities, a couple of 5 Crazies.
Some wine for Willow. Are you more of a red or white?
I know her brand.
Yeah.
All right. Burk.
I think I'm good.
You sure? You don't want me to get you something?
I'm good.
Fast forward back to the store, and you have all this stuff on the counter, and you see the machine
will-
with the machine with the ice block behind him that Zog previously mentioned, the burpee machine. And
I'm gonna get one of those definitely, and I
would
will
you
get
like a large
another
gulp,
one.
sir?
Yeah, that would be fuck. Yeah, I'd love one. Can I get a second one actually?
2
that
large
one
gulp
being the other
burpees.
flavor that you have of the two that you
So they
obviously-
have, so they have irradiated blue, and they have irradiated blue, and they have blood orange red.
I'll get one of each.
All right, and he pushes both of them forward to you, and the large
Thank you.
gulp is like
I just make
from the
Just-
desk. It's like this high. It's ridiculous,
Fuck yeah.
and it's
I
like
just make-
this big around.
I just turn my chest into cup holders.
Yeah, just turns into cup holders. 2 large gulps, and then in one hand a bag with the Fort Sanities and the 5 Crazies in it, and in the other, just the change. Yeah,
I feel like Quinlan is holding the wine. Because he knows how to handle that. He can be trusted with it.
remove 7 gold, receive 2 silver and 5 copper back.
Okay. So how are we splitting this up?
Well,
Quinlan's
whoever asks,
broke, buddy.
Huh?
Lovingly, Quinlan's broke. You're paying for it.
no,
champ.
splitting up what he bought.
Oh shit, my bad.
I mean, like, so did people give me money or am I just buying it? I can just buy it. We're just having this awkward conversation.
Quinlan
like,
just
how we-
got assigned
I-
to be your chaperone, and he didn't want anything.
Yeah, I'm surprised they gave a child beer too, but you know.
The concept of IDing a person for purposes of alcoholic beverages isn't exactly a thing in Quy'zz.
We're in the
It might be a
60s. That's
yeah,
got it. Cool.
it might be a thing on other continents in this world.
If
It's
you
not a
can
thing on Quy'zz.
Over the counter, you can drink.
Yeah, over the counter drinks.
Sometimes I can make him go way over the counter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that against like regulations when they like halflings and gnomes and things? That feels a little like race, like
Oh, no, they have a
they
tiny
can't get over the
counter just
counter.
for them.
How are they
Yeah, they
supposed to
have
drink?
a-
They got a tiny counter right off to the side that measures for them.
Yeah, you have the tall, you have like the humanoid counter and then the short counter. And like all the same product, but all the same product behind the counter. It's just yeah.
There's a bit of a feminist
Smaller
problem
bottles.
because some of the female
don't-
gnomes don't get tall enough to get there, and they feel very upset about it.
Just wear heels all the time.
They've got a very angular haircut.
Oh my god. Oh my god, 50 inspiration points got dumped into this. So, you
And
all
we're
kind of walk
using
out, and you set yourselves in the boat. This is a free parking situation, which means that there's no protection necessarily for your boat, but it also means that you don't have to pay anything to rest here. So, if you'd like to set up a watch, you can. If not, Zog, you're familiar with this place as being like, you know, as long as you kind of keep your stuff locked up tight, You know,
Yeah.
People are not gonna bust through like a porthole to steal anything. If you have anything out loose on the deck of the boat, it might be in trouble. But you don't. Not as far as the Toad Skipper is concerned.
Yeah.
You know,
we're good.
just hoodlums. So again, if you want to set up a watch, you can. If not, it's not necessary.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I don't know if
Alright.
anyone else is.
So the sun sets fully on this day. The second day of travel will begin next time on the In-Quy'zz-ition.
I don't want to step on. Okay.
Do we have any closing remarks before I properly close out this episode?
Quinlan wanted to do something.
What's that?
Tonight.
Oh yeah, the evening thing. Let's do Quinlan's thing. Yeah.
We can save that for next time.
You want to
No.
save it for next time?
The new day will begin the next session, so let's do this evening thing first. We still have a little bit of time. We've only been going for 2 and 40. We can extend this out to a more typical 3.
It's up to Quinlan. I'll leave it there.
Yeah, it's up to you.
Rhys.
I'm fine with ending off here.
Okay.
It's totally fine.
You did say one of these evenings, so if you want to do that in the next session, we can.
Alrighty.
All right, so let's call it here, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, watching on YouTube live or otherwise, thank you so much for watching this episode of the In-Quy'zz-ition. We will return on September 8th.
Mm-hmm.
And we will be back with another episode of our incredible heroes taking their journey once again down the river that I forgot, the Coleman River, towards the land of 1,000 puddles, continuing to chase those waterfalls. So, until then, I've been Dippy. These have been my lovely players, and until next time, your adventure matters, and you roll for your initiative. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Get out of here.